Right, hello and welcome to another episode of SimplySed. This is a kind of spur of the moment type one, just because I've been seeing a lot of confusion over this, especially within the UK amateur scene. So basically what it is I just want to kind of put the definitions out there of the differences between affiliate, partnerships and sponsorships. There seems to be a lot of confusion among certain people as to kind of what is actually what. So to basically start it off, just as a quick summary, so affiliate marketing, so the correct definition of affiliate marketing is a way for a company to sell its products by signing up individuals or companies who market the company's products for a commission. So the best example that I can really suggest for this one would be G2A, because within the esports world, G2A is probably the most common affiliate that you're going to get. So the way that G2A do it, for an example, and how many other affiliates will do it, is essentially you sign up and then you are granted a link or a code in which every time someone else uses said code or link to purchase something from G2A or another affiliate, for the example, you will earn a percentage of that amount. So this is mostly seen with amateur organisations, however you do still see them within the pro scene, and to be fair, when they are used within the pro scene, they're going to be a lot more lucrative, as the higher up the esports ladder you are, the more referrals you're more than likely to receive. Scuff Gaming is also an example that kind of does a lot of affiliates. Even part of their sponsorships, they still kind of give affiliate links and codes to a lot of their representatives or people that are kind of linked up with them, just as like an additional revenue stream essentially. But that is the kind of bare minimum of what an affiliate is, so it's not to be confused with other adventures such as partnerships and sponsorships. And on the affiliate one, that being said, I mean, there's been a few horrific examples of this from amateur organisations in the past that have deeply got it wrong when it comes to affiliates. Someone will be able to remember this straight away, but I can't remember the name of the organisation, but I think they done like an affiliate link through Skybet, and then shortly after they decided to announce it via the website and social media that they generated a wonderful new sponsorship with Skybet, of which then everyone's kind of just looking at it thinking, what the fuck are these guys on about? So there's a lot of kind of weird stuff when it comes to that, of people just not being able to tell the difference. However, when it comes to partnerships and sponsorships, this is where the line does get a bit iffy, in terms of a lot of different people have a lot of different perceptions as to what it means. Now, personally, I go by the dictionary definition. However, there are a lot of crossovers and layovers between partnerships and sponsorships. For me personally, the way that I like to differentiate is that partnerships, and definition wise, a smart collaboration of two or more organisations with the intent to develop a mid-term or long-term marketing program designed to meet each of their respective business goals. So one of the common examples that you generally see, especially for partnerships, are apparel companies teaming up with organisations. So take Gamers Apparel as the example of this. Shout out Jamie. But most of the time within esports, partnerships are done to further a relationship with a community or a group, and helping each side of the partnership build themselves up. So for a Gamers Apparel example, most of them would be classified as partners, excluding the few organisations that GEA actually specifically sponsor. And they will be the one company providing this an organisation with all of its apparel, and in return GEA will promote the organisation via their website, have their store on their website, via social media, and that's kind of like the baseline of a partnership in that. Now, where it starts to cross over is that, in my view, and again going by the dictionary definitions, e.g. sponsorships. So definition: a form of promotion often considered PR, where a firm provides support for an event, venture, organisation, person or charity by providing money or other resources in order to obtain positive publicity. It is an increasingly common form of promotional activity. This is usually in return for advertising space at the event or part of the publicity for the event. Now, so where a lot of people, so for me personally, the way that I've always interpreted it, the difference between a sponsorship and a partnership is it becomes a sponsorship as soon as either money or goods, essentially, say like if trying to think of the best example, but peripheral sponsors for prime example, even if they're just providing like merchandise and gears, that still in my view classifies as a sponsor. Partnerships in my view are the definition of when it's literally just a marketing partnership where you're just there to kind of reap the rewards of each other and promote each other as much as possible. Now there are some crossovers within this, and as like the example, like sponsorships within UK esports are now starting to become a bit more prominent, which is great to see. So even like organisations like Vexed, who in the past month have announced like a sponsorship deal with Ballistics, they've announced a sponsor/partnership with Seagate and a partnership with eBuyer. So if you're going to kind of look into those and kind of think of what's what, then the first one, which was the sponsorship deal with Ballistics, then I imagine that Ballistics are then going to be providing some form of merchandise or services that are essentially of worth, or monetary or financial benefits towards Vexed. But then you look at it on the second one, which is a sponsor and partner with Seagate. So that's where you start to get a bit of crossover and where a lot of people start to become confused because of a lot of the responsibilities that you'd have within a partnership, which kind of just promoting each other, so to speak, and working with each other, and kind of just reaping the rewards of what each other do. But a lot of the time the responsibilities of a partnership will overlap within a sponsorship, just in terms of the general marketing that you do. And the best example of this is, and it's kind of summed up by the definition in terms of this is usually in return for advertising space at the event or as part of the publicity for the event. So with organisations, what you obviously commonly see as soon as they get these sponsorships, is that they'll have like logo placements of the brand that they're now representing or in ties with, that will be on their jerseys, on their apparel, it will be on their websites, it will be over their social media, they'll continue to do plugs, everything like that, which you don't really see that much from general partnerships. More so like for sponsorships, people are a lot more inclined to do more work for it because of you're actually receiving generally some form of monetary gain from it. But then when it comes to partnerships, again, this is so to kind of further expand on this, I guess, and I'm probably just going off on a little rant, and by all means other people are going to have different varied opinions of what each one means, and personally I think it does also change dependent on the industry that you're working in to an extent. But the problem is where there's a lot of confusion that can occur is that sponsorships often entail most of the same responsibilities that would be categorised as partnerships. So, which is why, as an example, you see many organisations such as G2, for prime example, in which on their website they just have a specific partners part which is labelled. Even though it varies, and even if not, like most of the partners they've got listed on their website would usually be classified as sponsors. So it starts to get a bit hit and miss, and like even like what UK esports organisations do, or a lot of them tend to do in the past especially, is that they'll just label it sponsors on their website, even though you go and check through those sponsors and they'll probably actually turn out just to be affiliates. So there's always a lot of confusion as to who does what and what way people decide to categorise it. Personally, like I said, I will stick by the kind of dictionary definition type ones, of which I will class it as a sponsorship as soon as there is either monetary transactions going from one side of the companies to, or the company that is sponsoring said organisation, or there will be products and services that are equal to a monetary value. So that to me would be the definition of as soon as it becomes a sponsorship or when that starts happening. Now on the affiliate side of things, just to kind of round this up, affiliates can be very, very good. Obviously in an ideal world from every organisation's perspective, they're mostly going to be thinking, yeah, let's just give a sponsor, so we want as much money as possible, we want all these products, which is why you now get the kind of level of distinction in terms of what types of sponsors that you get, in terms of a lot of organisations now will have one specific peripheral sponsor, one specific apparel sponsor, then they'll have their kind of title sponsor, which is the ones that get the most advertisement and gets the most brand awareness from it. So e.g. when it comes to your apparel and things like that, in terms of the placement that you decide to put on your apparel kind of is dependent on the role and the importance of said partner or sponsor that you have. Because of the more important, or the ones that are then classified as the title sponsor, which in all cases it should be that the title sponsor is the one that's generating or providing you with the most amount of resources in theory, would then obviously get prominent PR and advertisement value from themselves or from your organization. So that's just going to be the kind of quick summary of it. It's probably still a bit hit and miss for people that are going to be watching because of the levels of distinction that you get between partnerships and sponsorships, and a lot of people are still very on the fence in terms of what still kind of ties within each other, but it should still give as an absolute minimum base information that you can kind of at least make the distinction between what ones are what. Again, this video is primarily focused towards like amateur organizations because of I just see it way too often, and I'm pretty sure a lot of organization owners or just general everyone in the kind of esports space can attest to seeing the exact same thing. So my point of principle on this is just going to be is that when you are making a deal with a company, whether it's for an affiliate, whether it's for a partnership, whether it's for a sponsorship, like be very, very clear what you're tying yourself into and what exactly it is. Because of, as I've said in that previous example, I've said AM org that goes through and signs up for an affiliate link and then labels it as a sponsor, the amount of shit that they received from that in a backlash just because of the way that they've labelled it was ridiculous, and it was deserved because of, at the end of the day, they don't know what it was in the first place, which is concerning. But yeah, just from your own sanity, just make sure you know what one it is what when you actually tie on get these deals completed with said companies. But either way, that will be the end of the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hate, whatever it is you feel like doing today, and that'll be it. So peace.